Good morning, my 360 strong women, those strong after 50 ladies. You have had your morning movement, a great workout, but I wanted to end today by talking to you about menopause, perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, and that visceral belly fat we call menobelly. And I'm going to give you 7 tips on how to fight that menobelly as we go through these seasons of life. It's unavoidable. Everyone's going to go through it. We're going to fight that menobelly, and maybe some ways that are going to help you do that. That's what we're going to talk about today very quickly, really going through the pillars, because the pillars are what are going to help you, those lifestyle pillars. If you feel like your waistline has changed basically overnight during menopause, you are not imagining that. That is actually happening mostly because of inflammation. As our estrogen declines, women tend to store more visceral fat around the abdomen. Deep belly fat isn't just a cosmetic thing. I know we worry about, I feel bloated, all sorts. I feel unconfident in my body because I'm storing this belly fat. And I'm trying all the things, but nothing seems to help. But it's not just cosmetic. So I want you to hear that, and maybe that will help you to practice some of these tips, because visceral belly fat around the abdomen is linked to increased risks of heart disease, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, inflammation, and that metabolic syndrome. The news is that research shows that strategic nutrition, strength training, interval exercise, stress management, and quality sleep can significantly improve the composition and metabolic health after 50. And that's the good news. If we can apply some of these lifestyle to our life, maybe there's one that I'm going to talk about today that you can think, well, I could add that, or I could try that. And maybe that's something that sets you on the way to getting your body back, feeling better while you're going through these stages of life. Today, we want to reduce our visceral belly fat, build and preserve our lean muscle. I talk about that all the time. Improve our insulin sensitivity, increase our energy, that ATP that we can put into our body so that we feel like we've fueled our body for the day and we're ready to go. We're not sluggish, we're not lethargic. We feel like we have more energy to get through the day. Improve our sleep quality. I know for me personally, that's one that I struggle with all the time, and I'm constantly trying to work on improving that. Reduce our stress hormones, so lowering some of that cortisol and helping the cortisol work efficiently like it's supposed to, and just feel stronger and more confident in our body. So those are the things that we're looking and striving to do. And these are the ways that we could do it. So what can we do? First tip would be our protein. I would say consider this a non-negotiable, that you need approximately 75 grams. Aim 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal. Try to get in that protein. That's going to help build lean muscle, keep you strong, but it's also going to help fight some of that visceral fat. And so the more muscle you have on your body, the less fat you're going to have on your body. Consider not looking at the scale as far as numbers as much, but to take in that protein. We as women need the protein. We need strong bones, and we need strong, lean muscle on our body. And we want to get rid of that visceral belly fat because we don't want it to be a health risk. And so we're going to, non-negotiable, first concentrate on getting in protein. Example of that would be Greek yogurt with chia seeds that are soaked. Always soak your chia seeds, and some dark berries. Antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, high in protein, and not high in calorie. Or you can make a protein smoothie with fruits and vegetables, and make sure that you put in either a whey protein or a pea protein or a protein that you can digest personally. So some people can digest whey protein. It doesn't bother them. That's animal protein. And some people need a plant-based protein. Personally, I use a pea protein or a plant-based protein. I digest it better, but it's up to you. Look for a protein if you're using a powder to make smoothies that is high in protein and low to no sugar. A lunch might look like a chicken salad on a bed of dark greens or a turkey wrap. Dinner might look like salmon and quinoa, really high in protein, really good for you. Get your omega-3s in, you get your protein in, you get your healthy fats in. That's a really good one. If you like salmon, I would have it once a week at least. Lean chicken and beans, a really good combination of protein, a shrimp stir fry, or tofu and vegetables. All good forms of protein. Why do we need that? So Beth, you're telling me that's a non-negotiable, that I need to get in all that protein for my body to help me with menobelly. So why? Because protein stimulates the muscle protein synthesis and helps offset age-related muscle loss, sarcopenia. And we want that. And I did a video about, lifting so that we could avoid sarcopenia. As we age, we tend to lose our muscle mass at a higher rate. And so the protein is really essential and important as we age, and we want to be healthy agers. So we need that protein. Protein is step one. Focus on getting in protein. Step two, focus on getting fiber. We need 25 grams of fiber per day or more. Example of high fiber foods: avocados, raspberries, blackberries, chia seeds. Remember, always soak your chia seeds before eating them. Ground flaxseed, lentils, peas, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, apples. All good forms of fiber. So you don't have to always take in a psyllium husk fiber, but if you need that, you could do that. You could find some grains that have high fiber. You want to look at, again, maybe calorie intake or how much fiber you're getting in. A fiber supplement to your foods to get that in, but you're looking at 25 grams of fiber per day. We have to get it. The non-negotiables. Step one, protein. Step two, fiber. Why do we have to put in that much fiber? Fiber improves our satiety. It supports our gut health, and that's really important. Our gut is kind of considered our second brain, and it does a lot of stuff. Without getting sciencey about it, we need to support our gut health, and fiber is going to help us. We want to regulate our blood sugar. So when we lose all that estrogen, we can have insulin issues, and that's a high risk for our health. And so we want to have fiber in our system that's going to help regulate that blood sugar. And it's also associated with lower abdominal fat accumulation. When you get fiber in, you're not as hungry, you're satiated. You get fiber in, it helps gut health. You get fiber in, and it helps lower the abdominal fat that gets accumulated in the abdomen. Important when we're looking at lowering our inflammation and getting rid of some of that menobelly. One is protein. Two is fiber. Three, and I would say this is also a non-negotiable, this one might be some challenging for you, added sugar. We want to limit our sugar intake. We only want to put in 24 grams per day. That's maximum. So you're only going to ingest 24 grams of sugar. When you look at labels, there's sugar in everything, and there's names for sugar in everything. And I've done some videos, nutrition videos before, so if you need more information about sugar, I'll be happy to help you with that. Just leave me a comment below. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share to our channel so that you can get all this information. When we avoid sugar, we want to avoid the sweet tea, candy, pastries, added sugar, sugary coffee drinks, and yogurt. So we're looking for good full Greek yogurt. We're looking for fruit. So we want to choose fruit, has fructose in it, but it's going to digest in your system differently than adding simple sugars to your body. So avoid all the candies and sweets and sodas and things like that, and choose fruit, Greek yogurt. Now, you could add dark chocolate, really good dark chocolate, 70% higher or more of cacao in small portions will take away the cravings. Also, spicy foods can help with sugar cravings, like cinnamon or paprika or cayenne pepper. Things like that can help take away your desire to have sugar. But if you can get off of sugar for a little bit, you're going to feel better. Fruit's going to taste better, and that's going to satisfy your sugar craving, so you won't have those cravings anymore, but it's not going to turn into fat in your system. It has fiber in it, so we want that. And a lot of our fruits are superfoods, like blueberries are antioxidants. They help our system. And why do we want to do that? Excess sugar contributes to insulin resistance and visceral fat storage. So remember, when you put in a lot of sugar in your body, it stores as fat, and that's why we want to abstain from it. So for women, up to 24 grams per day. And some drinks, remember, you're just drinking empty calories. So one, a lot of calories. Two, a lot of sugar. If something has more than 5 grams of sugar in it, put it back. Consider whole foods around the perimeter of the grocery store, not down the aisles, packaged or processed foods. Consider whole foods, mostly vegetables, not too much. That's a really good formula to go by. You're going to be in really good position nutritionally if you stick to that protocol. Protein, fiber, avoid added sugar. So we're only talking about 24 grams a day per sugar. So you're thinking about fruit, non-Greek yogurt, and maybe some good dark chocolate, 70% or higher of cacao. And then consider just consider for 28 days of an alcohol-free challenge for yourself. Why? Because when you put alcohol into your body stops burning fat because it has to process out the alcohol out of your system first. It's not a multitasker. Depending on how many drinks you've had, your body could take up to 3 days to concentrate on burning out that alcohol before it goes back to burning fat. You're many days behind. You're on your goal to get rid of your menobelly. So it's just a consideration. There's no judgment. It's just, one, you'll feel better. 2, there's a lot of sugar in alcohol. 3, science behind that is because your body will stop burning fat until it gets rid of all the alcohol. The protective measure, your body kind of sees that as a poison in your body, and it has to take care of that function before it goes back to all the other functions. Again, alcohol can stay in your system up to 36 hours depending on the number of your drinks. Alcohol also disrupts sleep, which doesn't help one of our pillars, getting good quality sleep. Increases cravings. So if you already have sugar cravings or carb cravings, it's going to make it worse. Impairs your fat oxidation, which we talked about already. Raises your caloric intake, so you're taking in more calories than you're expending, or empty calories. There's no nutrition to it. So your body is like, where's my fuel that I need to build my ATP to have energy to feel good? It's not going to come from that. It does promote abdominal fat storage. And so getting rid of that, and maybe take 28 days and see how you feel. And if you feel better, maybe, occasionally you're going to go back to that, knowing the science behind that. So if your goal is, I want to feel better, I want to get rid of this menobelly, that's one of the ways that's going to help you do that. So just a challenge for you. And then we want to talk about our 5th tip, and that is our exercise plan. And I talk to you all the time about your exercise plan when we do our workouts. Strength train, we have to lift, and we have to lift heavy, ladies. 2 to 3 times a week. Like, subscribe, and share to our channel, and the workouts are done for you. All you have to do is pick one and hit play. Remember, we want to move every day, minimal 20 minutes, and we want to make it varied so you don't overtrain. And we have to do our interval cardio. Remember, we want to make that varied. So sometimes it's steady state cardio, sometimes it's interval cardio, like Tabatas or jump training, or it looks different. And we have all types of cardio. Maybe it's a kickboxing class, or maybe it's a mashup class, or maybe it's some equipment like a body bar, medicine ball, a slam ball, something like that. Doing the same thing every day, make it varied. So I make that really simple. Move every day and make it varied. Lift at least 2 to 3 times a week. And I would say if you're trying to put muscle on your body because you're taking in all that protein, 3 times a week would be better as an older woman. And then we want to move daily throughout the day and try to get in those steps if you can, or that 10,000 steps. So if you're at 8,000, shoot for 10,000. If you're at 5,000, maybe shoot for 7,000. Try to up the amount of steps through the day. Maybe you're sitting more than you thought through the day. And you can also do our every 30 get 3. So every 30 minutes, you're going to stand up, get 3 minutes of moving. So it could be some office stretches. It could be walking to get some water and coming back, getting a little bit of fresh air and coming back. But that's going to help. And there are studies on that helps us through the day, helps us with our steps, helps us feel better, gets oxygen in our body. So why is all that important? I talk about this all the time. Strength training preserves our muscle and increases our resting metabolic rate. So it's going to help our cardiovascular system, our skeletal system, our muscular system, all the systems in our digestive system, all the systems in our body. Strength training and doing our movement is going to help. Interval cardio training improves insulin sensitivity and cardiovascular fitness, so heart healthy, pulmonary system healthy. We want to be able to have those lungs expanding, taking in a lot of oxygen, and keep them working like a great muscle. Interval cardio improves that cardiovascular training that helps the heart and pulmonary systems work together in tandem and efficiently, helping reduce visceral fat. We need both. We need cardio and we need strength training. Not one over the other, but this and that, not this or that. We need both. Protein. We have fiber. We have avoid sugar, avoid alcohol. Add in our at minimum 20 minutes of movement, strength training, interval cardio training. And we have number 6, stress reduction plan or a stress reduction protocol. And we want to do that on a daily. It could be Tai Chi. It doesn't have to be long. That could be yoga. That could be breath work, like box breathing. Take some time to box breathe or do it before you go to bed at night. Something that's going to reduce our stress levels. Something like Tai Chi can help you with stress levels and balance. Something like yoga can help stress levels and breathing and make your body strong. So you can add that. So one day you might lift and strength train. Next day you might do some cardio. Next day you might do a yoga class or a Tai Chi class. That's movement, but it's also going to help your stress. Stress management protocols improve our balance, reduce cortisol, and support mental well-being as well. So not just your physical well-being, you're going to feel better and you're going to have a better mental capacity. You have more oxygen in your brain when you do these stress reduction or stress management protocols. When you do Tai Chi, when you do your breathing exercises, breathe in, exhale out. I've got breathing exercises in our playlist. So if you need to learn box breathing, if you need to learn that inhale, clap, slap, if you need to learn belly chest breathing, it's all in there. Practicing those throughout the day, it's going to help you. Chronic stress elevates cortisol. which is associated with increased abdominal fat accumulation. So we want to keep our cortisol working the way it's supposed to, not good or bad. I don't want to call it a bad hormone because we need it. We need cortisol to wake us up in the morning and get us going. But then as it spikes in the morning, about an hour after you get up, boom, then it should start to level out and then go down so that you're ready to go to bed and sleep really good at night. That's what it's supposed to do. And help us with fight or flight, as I say, run from the bear, right? It's supposed to help us with things like that, but it's not supposed to be chronic. It's an acute thing that helps us through the day. It becomes chronic is when it starts to spike and then it just continues to go up and stay at a high level. That's when you have a chronic inflammation situation, or chronic cortisol levels are high. Not really a cortisol detox. I hear it all the time. Don't get caught up on all the trendy things. But I would say potions, pills, and promises are going to just take money from you. So consider doing the protocols that work with lifestyle management. Your protein, nutrition, your fiber, getting rid of sugar. And there's not really a detox. You can do some things to lower your cortisol if it's chronically high, and that would be stress management protocols. That's what's gonna help you. But it has to become a practice. It can't be one and done. So we have to add Tai Chi, we have to add yoga, we have to add these breathing techniques to lower our stress levels and lower that cortisol. And like I said, you could do it in the morning, you could do it in the middle of the day. I mean, some Tai Chi moves are very slow. You could even do a Tai Chi or some yoga stretches at the end of your movement, at the end of your workout. We do a lot of that in our videos. I'll do a lot of lymphatic warm-up, dynamic warm-up, so you're starting to get rid of all that bloating. And then when we cool down and stretch, we're doing some yoga stretches. Some are Tai Chi. I've got Tai Chi videos. So you can add and do all of that in. And then before you go to bed, you can do some nice yoga stretches and then be some box breathing or some belly chest breathing, and you're good to go. We have add protein, add fiber, get rid of sugar, get rid of alcohol, exercise, have good stress management protocols, Tai Chi, yoga, breathing techniques, stress breathing techniques, and then sleep protocol, all the pillars of lifestyle management. So if you're following our channel, you're following these protocols. But I wanted to break them down into 7 little steps that you can try, and you can do one at a time. Consider that you don't have to do all of them all at once and become very overwhelmed. Maybe this week you're just going to concentrate on, let me see how much protein I'm actually putting in my body this week, and see, and then leave me comments below. What were you successful in? What do you need help in? I'd be happy to help you with that. But sleep protocols, and this is the one where it's, like I said, I'm authentically being real about this. One's tough for me. Goal is 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep. That's where it gets tricky. Maybe you can get in those 7 hours, but maybe they're not quality sleep. Some of us have a hard time falling asleep, and some of us have a hard time staying asleep. Let me know which one you are. I'm the one that falls asleep very quickly. I do the protocols. I have my bed set up in a nice, with sleep hygiene. I've done all of that, and I fall asleep very easily, but I don't stay asleep. Sleep for 4 hours or so, and then boom, I'm up, and it's not good quality sleep. So it's tough then to go back to sleep. I have what's called disrupted sleep. So I'm working on it. How about you? We want to shoot for that 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. We want to stop eating 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. That's one going to help, because we have to get our brain a power wash. We want to stay away from dementia and cognitive decline. at a rapid rate. And so we need to treat our brain well. And if it's digesting food and making our body do all these tasks while we're sleeping, it doesn't get to rest. Hours before you go to bed, stop eating either your snack or your last meal. 1 hour before you go to bed, dim your lights, dim everything down. That's going to tell your brain that it is time. So we're setting that circadian rhythm for you. It is time to get your body ready to rest and recover. 1 hour before you go to bed, put away your electronics. That one's hard for everyone. We want to get in that last TV episode. We want to catch up on our emails. We want to scroll through the funny reels. We want to catch up on the news. We're on our tablets, we're on our phones, and that keeps your brain stimulated. An hour before we go to bed, we want to put away the electronics. That's going to help. And that's also telling our brain, okay, it's time to rest and recover. We're going to get ready for that power wash and recover our body. The room should be dark, quiet, and cool. I've got my temperatures really cool. I'm good with that. Some people aren't good with that. Some people use a weighted blanket and they say that's very helpful for them to go to sleep. I don't like the weighted blanket, but they seem to work very well for lots of people. So I think it's just personal that. But the cool temperatures for women especially is really good because our body temperature without that estrogen spikes and fluctuates during the night. Our breathing slows down, but our temperature tends to spike at certain points of the night. That's where you get those night sweats and all of that. And a cool room is going to help you regulate your temperature, and that's going to help you get better quality sleep, so that our brain again is saying, okay, it's time to shut things down. And quiet. No TV, no stimulation. That's what that means. And we want to go to bed and wake up the same time every day. That's really important to keep that circadian rhythm going. But get some morning sunlight in the morning. When you get up, go for a walk in the morning if you can, but get at least 10 minutes of sunlight in the morning, because that's going to help set that circadian rhythm. We have to balance our serotonin and our melatonin. Serotonin wakes us up, keeps us awake, keeps us happy. Melatonin calms us down, helps us to sleep. And we want them balanced. So getting sunlight in the morning is going to help set that circadian rhythm so that you have enough melatonin at the end to go to sleep. And you're not having to take supplements, because that can then unbalance that. So if you have too much melatonin, you're groggy and sleepy and have no energy. And if you have too much serotonin, you're up and you're hyper. So we need to balance those two out. And it's hard to do without estrogen. And so we need to do these protocols in order to help us with that. We have protein, fiber, no sugar, avoid alcohol, exercise, and we talked about the different kinds, stress management protocols, and sleep protocols, all for helping us get rid of visceral fat. And those are the things that are going to help you. You can track your metrics if you wanted. That may be helpful for you while you're trying to do this, to see what's working for you. So you could track, like, take your waist measurement, your energy level. That's really important. So if you have more energy, you know you're on the right track. Your sleep quality, what is your sleep like? You could wear like a sleep device, a watch or an Oura ring, something like that. I don't do that, but I have lots of friends and colleagues who do, and you're going to take that with a grain of salt. So unless you have a sleep study, you're going to get some information and some good information, but not all the information that you may need. So that thinks you have sleep apnea or something like that, you need to go see a qualified sleep specialist and then network with your doctor to help you with that. So I'm not talking about sleep disorders. I'm just talking about quality sleep for us women who are going through these stages of life and have disrupted sleep, and that is attributing to our abdominal belly fat. The goal really isn't about just losing weight. I really want you to hear that. The goal is building a stronger, healthier, and a more metabolically resilient body for decades to come. We want to stay away from those health risk factors. We want to say, hey, I'm healthy, I'm vibrant, I'm thriving. And these are the 7 tips that may help you if you work them the right way. And everybody has to find their little, this works for me. But the science says that these 7 things are going to help you. Stay strong after 50. It's about being strong and mobile and have wellness and have longevity. In order to do that, we need to work these lifestyle pillars. We're talking about 1 workout, 1 meal, 1 healthy choice at a time. The evidence-based benefits. Higher protein intake helps preserve our muscle during menopause. Adequate protein supports muscle maintenance, satiety, and metabolic health. So we know that. The fiber helps reduce our hunger, improves our blood sugar control. Women consuming high fiber diets tend to have better weight management and lower visceral fat accumulation. That's the science. Strength training, one of the most effective tools for a menopausal body composition. Resistance training helps maintain lean muscle. Put that protein on and then lift. Improves insulin sensitivity, which is really important, and increases our functional strength. If you have any questions about these 7 tips to help you with menobelly, help you feel better, help you thrive during these stages of life, just let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit our button, like, subscribe, and share. I hope that you have a great day. I hope that this information was important to you and that one or several of the tips are like, oh, I'm going to try that. Let me know in the comments below where you're at, what you've tried, what you've been successful in, what really didn't work for you, and maybe I can help you with that. I'm sure that our tribe of women are all striving and trying these things. Want to stay away from the trendy potions, pills, and promises. Hope that you have a great day, and I will see you for the next video. Stay 360 strong. Bye.